This is an educational video which is showing the end-to-end process on mosaic art projects for people who want to make a good living by creating custom-made mosaic art project for clients. So no fancy edits, just experience. And yeah, welcome to another mosaic art project in review video. And today we're gonna talk about this. That's a bathroom for kids. Actually, we're going to talk about the whole process. Starts from the location till workshop, the design and the installation, and the finance, balance, and the mistakes that I've made during the creating of this mosaic. I will make the whole thing, the whole video in one video, not in parts, I believe. I hope it will be not too long. And you will find a lot of experience used in the creating of this kind of mosaic project. It's a custom-made project for a client that I made in 2008. So to make things a bit easier, I've created this scheme which shows the whole process of a mosaic project. And I want you to pay attention to this area only for now. It starts actually with the location of the mosaic project, and then we will have the marketing process, design process, and then we'll have the workshop process, the installation, and finally we will find out the mistakes which we have made on this whole process. In the same time, the managing of finance and the balance is running during the whole process. So we're going to start with the location of the mosaic project. So it's a terrible photo, actually, very bad quality. It's placed in Istanbul and in one of the famous, locations in Istanbul. It was a primary school for kids, and they asked me to create some mosaics for the kids' bathroom. Of course, they want to have something funny because we have kids over there, right? So this was the location. It was located in Istanbul. Why is it an important location? Because different countries even, and different parts in a country has different regulations, different materials and payment methods and stuff. That's why I think it's important to mention where the mosaic project was located. So next, the marketing process. How was I able to get this kind of a mosaic project? Well, in the marketing process, there are actually two legs in my mind. It's like the in marketing, which is all the things that you do after you got the order, if you know what I mean. So if you're sure you have that commission, and then you can start to make some inside marketing to satisfy the client as much as possible, to create to create a statement like you will get the next order too. If he will have an order, then you will make sure that you are the one who he is going to call. And the other is the primary marketing, which is actually all the stuff you do to get this kind of order and to meet this kind of a client. So in this case, we met that guy in an art fair. It was more like a construction decoration, fair. It was not like an art fair, but it was like 50% art fair, whatever. It was more an art fair in Istanbul, place in Istanbul, where people was going to find some interesting material for their houses and homes and constructions. And this is where I've met the guys who was the owner at that school, the primary school. And so I just want to show this photos. This is only what I have to show you where we met and how comes that the client wants to let me make his project, his mosaic project. I participate in this fair, decoration fair in 2008, and you can see here a few mosaics. I don't know if you guys remember, this mirror was made with silicone, and the tiles are almost like losing their, I don't even know how to call it, they are falling off that substrate. Here is another, a few photos. That's a nice mirror. By the way, anyway, what I'm going up to is, you see here a bunch of catalogs that I've prepared for my works. I was like working like a small located company in Istanbul, and here are all the catalogs. You can see here some business cards. This is all to give to the clients. I believe, oh, here are some projects to show clients, okay, to make sure that, to show that we are good in this business and kind of stuff. That's a coffee or whatever. I have here some stuff to take notes. I don't know what this is. And something to notice here, that there is a lot of stuff in a lot of style. This looks terrible, you know. It's a shame. What kind of a flower is that? Looks more like an alien. Whatever. Okay, that was a car of mine at that time. And yeah, so this kind of to participate in this kind of a decoration fair will help you to find clients who are building a house and who are looking for some interesting decoration material. And then we have the inside, the in marketing. We can talk about this in a few minutes, I believe, but I can show you this. This was where, you know, how much square meter we're gonna do for him and how much day it will take and stuff like that. And you can see, as you know, it's almost clear that I will get the order. So it's nice to make some inside marketing, like, you know, we are doing this right now and this is upcoming next, and we are planning to do this project in the same time, and this and that project is like running. It makes the client, you know, feel more comfortable to work with you, because he's like, he can check all these projects, you know, all the company names is here. He can check and ask the people about me, and he can make sure with this that he is on his right way, you know. So the design process. Let's check out the design process. So there was 2 bathrooms, one all for the kids, one for the boys and one for the girls, and this we plan to make for the boys, like Boys in Space or something like that. So I did simply some you know, stars and stuff. You can see here the tiles, you know, some letters. In success we trust, and like that, to make sure, you know, here are a lot of, it says kırma ceramic mosaic, means, you know, broken tiles randomly. Here is the thickness, that they will stand off a bit from the whole area, because we're gonna use more thick ceramics. Everything is written in here. Also here, like, how we're going to create the star, and then here again the thickness is shown in the drawing, and also in here, you know, it says ceramic here 25 centimeters, you know. So it's kind of important to make sure that you give as much possible information to the client as you can during the designing process. By the way, the designing process must start after your advance payment. Otherwise, you can make all the stuff and the client can just take this and give it to another mosaicist, and then you have spent your time in designing, but you are not able to get the order. Here, the same. This is actually the space that you see here in another, it's from the entrance, I believe. Here are the stars and everything. And here are, the borders, and also the screenmeter is hidden here. And then the girls' place, the girls' bathroom, success with trust. Here we have hearts, and everything is written in here. The thickness, broken ceramic tiles. This means broken ceramic tiles. Here again the thickness and stuff, and it's signed. And once again, in another angle, how you call that? I said here we're gonna have the hearts and stuff. The square meters is written in here, and here another sizes, and yeah. So the design is actually giving the client information about how it will look like, and about technical information too, like the material you're gonna use, the technique, the style, and everything. And yeah, this was about the design. You can support the artist if you think this video was helpful for you. You can do this by buying goods designed by the artist. Thank you.